Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Apple's HomePod Minis. These speakers came out in 2020 and is Apple's second iteration of smart speakers behind the HomePods, which came out in 2017. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. HomePod Minis are Apple's version of smart speakers, which come in two colors. You have space gray and you have white. As you may have guessed, the minis are just a miniature version of Apple's previous HomePod, and this version is a little bit more discreet in your home. This HomePod mini has a touchscreen on top, and with that touchscreen, you can enact Siri if you would like. You can play music, you can skip a song or go back a song, or you can control the volume from the top of this touchscreen. If you're not really looking to listen to music, you can connect it to one of the compatible devices, and with that, you can play movies and TV shows off of the HomePods. The HomePods, in order to get up and running, will need an iPod, an iPad, or an iPhone, as well as Wi Fi. HomePod minis come in a sleek box, which is very minimalistic and similar to the boxes that other Apple products come to. Inside of the box itself, you'll find the HomePod minis, you'll find a 20-watt adapter, as well as the documentation that comes with Apple products, letting you know all the little terms and conditions that you may need to know about. Probably won't need to know about. You probably won't read it, let's be honest. HomePod minis have a non-detachable power cord that uses USB-C. If you have another device that has a USB-C input, then you may be able to use the HomePod minis on the go. I think that most people would be using the HomePod minis for music, but you can also use it for listening to podcasts, listening to news briefings, or pairing it with a compatible Apple device. I also think it's cool how they added this feature that's like an intercom. So you can send messages from your phone or from your iPad or from your iPod to the HomePod minis, as well as using the minis to send messages back. It's really cool because if you're busy, you can just use Siri to respond to the message or to send an intercom message as well. HomePod minis can be controlled in two different ways. You can decide that you control them from the device itself using the touchscreen that they have on top or Siri, or you can control them from the HomeKit app, which is this little app on your Apple device that is like a little yellow house. You'll see it. When you're controlling it from the HomeKit, it's really cool because you can see what is actually playing on the HomePod minis, and if there's like music playing, you can decide maybe I don't want to listen to this, and I can change it, or I can adjust the volume from there. And also, just important note, it doesn't have to be from Apple Music. It works with other music streamings places as well. If you're using Spotify or Amazon Music, you can definitely use it there as well. It also has this 360 audio, so it's really good sound wherever you are in the room, so you can actually hear what's going on with the HomePod minis and what's playing or if it's saying something. And use Siri if you're looking something that's a little bit more hands-free. Siri has definitely improved over the years, so I think with these HomePod minis that Siri works pretty good in order to read messages or send messages, and just ask it questions and it'll give you some cool little answers. Inside of the Home app, you can also enable multiple users to be able to access the HomePod minis. This will be great if you have multiple people that may need to use the HomePod minis, so then they, can get access to it and play their music and use it for whatever they would like. I think it's really cool that they decided to add this feature so, not only one person could use it, it can be used by like a group of people without having to reconfigure the whole system each time. One thing I think that is super important that Apple has with the HomePod minis is, lots of accessibility features for people with disabilities. I think it's really important, not only to have a speaker that, has good sound and can be used with different products and has great features, but also making it a product that can be used by everyone or as many people as possible. And so I'm really glad that they take the time and look into what accessibility features they may need to ensure that the HomePod minis can be used by as many people as possible. The only problem I have with my HomePod minis is that sometimes initially when I try to pair something from going directly from the device to the HomePod minis, it just doesn't pair. And then, I'll be watching a show and then it'll be like, maybe like 5, 10 minutes later, then boom, all of a sudden these HomePod minis come on and they're playing, what I was originally trying to pair. What I've noticed is that if I go to the Home app and try to pair the device to, like per se an Apple TV, then it works a lot better going that way compared to just going on to the Apple TV and trying to pair the device. So that's like my only thing is that sometimes there is a little bit of a lag when I'm trying to pair, which I don't know if that has something to do with like Wi-Fi, or it has something to do with like the age of the Apple TV. But that's the only thing that I've noticed that's like a small issue, but it's not something that is like lingering and it doesn't happen all the time. One of the coolest things you can do with the HomePod minis is connect to HomePod minis and have them play as like a little like stereo. With this, you can designate which one you want to be the right stereo and which one you want to be the left. So you can place them on two different nightstands on two different sides of the room and hear like this like surround sound because you have sounds coming from both ways. I think that this is just really cool because, if you're playing a movie or something and, maybe you're far away from the TV, you can have the speakers a little bit closer playing on both sides so you can really get the whole action. And, with the speaker sound, if you play it loud enough, it may even make you feel like you're in a movie theater. I think that this is just a cool feature to have on the HomePod minis to ensure that you get the best out of, this movie watching quality or music listening quality when you're using the HomePod minis. It's really cool because you can have two and you can pair them together, but if you don't want to pair them together, you can use them separately as well. It's not like an obligation to have them paired together as a stereo. I think it's cool that Apple decides to give you that option though, that if you really want to elevate, your experience, you have the option to do that as well. And then you can control it from the Home app as well, and it'll pair them both together. And then you can give them a little cool little name. So I thought that that was cool that they decided to add that. HomePod minis are a great speaker for the price, which is $99. I think that, it has great sound quality as well as cool little smart features that, really elevate the speaker itself. If you're looking for a small, discreet speaker that you can place around the house and, probably won't be as noticeable as like one of the bigger speakers, then I suggest that you check out the HomePod minis. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you have not subscribed, please do so you can keep up to date with more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun. Goodbye.